is an extraordinary organization of men and women who've made an investment in our community.
Rotary lets you address some of those issues in your community that otherwise you'd never address.
There's just a feeling of being in a room with a lot of friends.
People from many different backgrounds, many different cultures, whose only real commonality is that they're interested in the community, invested in the community, and are looking for a way to get back.
I met church people and I met surgeons.
We all look different. We're different shapes, sizes, colors.
It's about how people communicate, people helping each other, how people grow together, and how will people serve together.
It is so fun and so rewarding. The fellowship in Rotary is wonderful.
Professions and people coming together, feeling friendship, and out of that, going out into the world doing good things.
I've always been involved in the community doing things, and I realized that if I took my resources and my brain power and interest and kind of combined it with other like-minded people, we could do much more.
I need to be part of this community, and Rotary gives me that framework.
One of the particular projects was to go to an old age home and show movies.
We ended up teaching everybody how to recycle, including my own club.
Going into school and sitting down with young people and listening and teaching them how to read.
We provide prosthesis, and we have a permanent clinic in one of the government's hospital in the community.
Whether it's digging up a playground in your community, whether it's serving soup to the underprivileged in your area.
It could be cleaning up, you know, some of our waterways. It could be working with a family in need right in our own backyard.
Rotary and community, it's like peanut butter and jelly. You know, they just go together real nicely.
To go to a community event and say, oh, look at all these Rotarians, and that feeling of knowing that there's something greater than yourself that's doing really good things across the community, I get a lot of satisfaction from that.
By relating to other human beings, reaching out to them, helping them in some way or other, or giving them hope.
It gives you joy. It gives you satisfaction. Most of the good things you do comes back to you severalfold.
When I initially joined, it was to find a way for me to get more involved in giving back to the community, but I think that I probably get a lot more from Rotary than I've given back. That sounds like a total stock answer, but it's totally true.
Very good. I thought I'd put that out there because it's not kind of, you know, as we go virtual, it's hard to remember why we joined Rotary in the first place. I just think that with everything going on, it's probably gonna be a greater need for us to do stuff in the community. So just thought that was appropriate.
Yes, thank you. Angela, would you mind doing the prayer and pledge this morning?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm happy.
Hey, Laura. I unmuted you.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. There's Captain Crowley.
Brian.
We got 8 o'clock. Shall we get started, I guess?
Ring the bell for you.
All right, we'll get started.
All righty.
Did we ring the bell?
Oh yeah, I'm sorry. I thought you heard it. Sorry. Let's go back and do that again.
Go back. There we go.
Okay.
All right. Thank you. That's a good bell. Well, welcome everybody to another edition of Zoom Rotary. I'll hand it over to Angela now, and she'll do the prayer and the pledge.
Okay, and instead of saying food, I thought we'd say fellowship, since not everybody has food in front of them. So
okay.
Our club prayer: for the fellowship before us, the friends beside us, and the love and opportunity that surround us, let us be truly grateful. Amen.
All right. There's our...
Okay. Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America
and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, for liberty and justice for all.
Amen. All right, thank you. Before we go to good news, I think we've got our speaker, Anne Welton from the Wake Forest Chamber. We'll hear from her in a little bit, but are there any other guests? Angela, you mentioned maybe somebody coming. Let's see.
Yeah, is Raghu on? I don't see him.
Let me look down the list here.
No.
Nope. Okay.
Okay.
We'll move on to good news, and we'll go through real quick here. I guess I'll start. And again, if you want to donate toward our fund, go to chat and just make a note of donate whatever you want, $1 or $2 for good news. My good news is probably I gave myself a haircut this week. It was getting really long.
Check my voice.
So that's my good news. Let's go to Mark is next in line.
So my good news is that I survived turning 50. So
yes,
I was actually excited. Archer, I felt like you. I went for a 20-mile bike ride on Monday.
Nice.
Look at you. Wow.
Yes, I was so excited because
I'm impressed.
Well, we had that major storm roll in on Monday, and then fortunately it cleared out. So I was very thankful to have a nice afternoon. So I spent it on the bike.
Awesome. All right, Angela, go ahead.
Good news is I like this cooler weather. I kind of wish it would have snowed because it would have, they would have closed everything and it wouldn't have mattered.
No, I guess that's true. Matt, you're up.
Oh, all right. My good news was Madison came home for the weekend, so I hadn't seen her in forever. So we did.
Nice. She doing
Easter,
okay?
Yeah, she's doing great. Yeah, we did Easter dinner.
Good.
She's doing well. Doing everything virtually on all our classes, and
yeah,
still living the college life. Try as much as possible.
Are a lot of students around town still in Wilmington? Did you say?
Decent amount? Yeah. A decent amount are still staying there in their apartments and whatnot. And,
yeah.
Most of them stay there year round. If you go to Wilmington, most of the kids stay there year round. She don't want to come home, but we had a good time. We had a good dinner, and that's about it. And then just have been out running and riding a lot, and being in the office every day. So
very good. Brian Williams, you're up.
Yeah, good news for me too on the I guess on the exercise front. I discovered about a year ago this really great trail at the dam in here in Wake Forest on the Greenway, and it's about a 7.5 mile hike from Raven Ridge Road and back, which I've been doing like every third day or so. So I guess the good news is there's opportunities to get out there and discover new things while we're confined.
For sure. Donna.
And I don't mean to sound flippant about this, but I'm just grateful to still be married. We haven't killed each other yet or asked for a divorce.
That's always good.
We're not used to spending this much time together and with our adult children, so it's been rough.
An adjustment period.
Indeed.
Susan.
I'm just happy that it's April 16th, and I don't care what the IRS says, but tax season is officially over as far as I'm concerned.
That's good. Rick.
I'm continually amazed by the number of people that are new clients of the Tri-Area Ministry. I would guess we have 25 to 40% coming through on a weekly basis. It's been a little bit quiet this week, so I've had a chance as I do intake to talk to them and get to know some of the stories. And the guy who was involved in an accident on 540 back in February, who was out of work due to hospitalization, what have you, got back ready to work and was laid off. So you just have to get behind the scenes a little bit to understand some of the stories and the challenges that the people are facing during this time frame.
Yeah. All right, Captain Crowley, you're up.
Well,
Well, my temperature is 97.6, so no coronavirus here. Chicago still exists. That was a good trip. People were pretty surprised that I went all the way to Chicago for takeout, but it was good. We enjoyed pizza last night.
Very good.
There's talk of maybe Alaska for halibut and salmon next week.
Very good.
It was.
I'm sure.
Deep dish, Mike.
What's that?
The deep dish pizza, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. From Chicago, from Lou Malnati's, one of the inventors of the deep dish pizza.
Very cool.
Nice.
And there's a 94.6% chance that I do not have coronavirus.
That's always good. All right, Laura, you're up.
Okay, my good news is that I'm gonna practice some social distancing on Friday in kayak, because I mean, the boat's at least 6 feet, so we should be fine.
Very good. And Shane, how are you? Good morning.
Good morning, doing well. My good news is that late last week on Thursday, the Car YMCA started delivering food, partnering with Raleigh Dream Center. We're taking food to 2 communities every day, picking up food from Millbrook Elementary School and then taking it to 2 communities, delivering about 100 meals a day. And it was just invigorating to get out in the community and start doing something, to be a part of a project that was making a difference. And it's something that we're doing every day. And so it's just been awesome.
Wow, that's awesome. All right, Mr. Walt, unmute you.
Got it?
Sorry, Walt, you're muted again.
How about now?
All right, you're good to go. Start over, sorry.
All right, that was great news that Shane just shared. Thanks for what you all are doing, Shane. And good news is that spring has not isolated itself. It's just been wonderful to really see the flowers coming out and the leaves coming out and the pollen washing away and hearing the birds. And it's just been that's a bit of a silver lining to this crisis, is slowing down and witnessing this beautiful creation.
Yeah. We've got 2 baby birds right in front of our house. I'm sorry, 3 in a nest. That it's fun to watch them every day.
Yeah.
All right, Mr. Louie, I see you.
Good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm well. I'm well. Sorry, I forgot completely until the last minute, but I'm here now.
No worries. Any good news for the week?
Good news. Well, I'm still here.
That's always good.
And that's probably the best news, really. You know, everything's going fine, but I'm getting stir crazy, like everybody else, I expect.
Yep, for sure.
But
all right, I'm going to run down some dates and some things going on, upcoming meetings. Let's see. First of all, thanks for everybody that showed up to the virtual social last week. It was good. I mean, it was good to just hang out and with a drink and talk. So Mark won best background for his which one? He had a rotating background, which was good.
The sharks are which one did you
I like Forrest Gump running. Oh, there's my dog.
Best background noise today. Okay.
Yeah. I'm about to squirt her with some water. All right, let's see. Upcoming meetings. Tomorrow morning we've got membership committee meeting at 8 o'clock on Zoom right here, same channel. Next week we've got Courtney Jenkins from the town of Wake Forest. I think talking about the census and what's going on with the town. That same day we've got board meeting next week for officers, so we'll stay over. And then next Saturday is now the virtual Note and Pocket 5K Socks and Undies run. Rick, I know, just sent out yesterday kind of a reminder email about that. So you can run, I'm not going to read the whole thing, but I think it's kind of log a 5K, but look at the details on that email sent out yesterday. And you can donate online. So they're moving forward with that, which is good. And then the following week, we've got a guest from the Wake Forest Club. And I think it's a father and son, Rick, that
Yes.
has done a trip on multiple occasions, I think, to the Dominican. So we'll hear from them in a couple weeks. Hopefully everybody saw, I think yesterday or day before, I sent out an email. We talked to NCFC again last week, late last week. I talked to Brian, I think it was Friday, and just felt the right thing to do is postpone instead of trying to squeeze in, the next month to get more corporate sponsors, which is tough to do right now, and sell ducks and have it in June. We pushed it a month to July 18th. It's still a 3v3 tournament. It's actually the one we originally were scheduled to have our duck splash with was more the local tournament. This one, it's more of a statewide hosted tournament, so there may even be more folks. So sorry, I was checking on something real quick. So hopefully, again, pushing in a month will be more successful. So we made the decision to move forward on July 18th. Thanks for everybody's donation of the credit from breakfast to our immediate need and local help to Tri-Area Ministry Food Pantry. We already cut them a check of $1,000 a couple weeks ago. We're going to cut them another check. Susan, we probably can move forward with this week, next week, whenever we have a chance, or if Rick wants to deliver it, another $500 for them to help out, hopefully.
Thank you.
And then also, I'm going to hand it over to Angela real quick, but Angela came up with these ideas. We're talking about supporting local restaurants at this time, and as well as healthcare workers. And she came up with a couple of great ideas, and I'll let her speak. But we're contributing $500 toward the meals for the healthcare workers, and then we're kind of rolling out this coming week the help out with takeout. So Angela, I'll hand it over to you, and you can speak 5 minutes on kind of what we're doing here. Hopefully everybody's seen the emails.
Okay, thanks, Jerry. We wanted to do something. I know we're all isolated except for Crowley. And we wanted to do something that, is safe, but that we can help our local businesses. So what we're starting this Sunday is our Help Out with Takeout. And what that is thanks to Mike Crowley and Morgan O'Connor, the three of us got together. We got input on 6 restaurants that we can help over the next 6 weeks. So this week, starting on Sunday, we are asking you as a Wakefield Rotarian to please visit Over the Falls. We have the menus on the website. And we also want to put this out on social media. So when you go pick up your meal or you're eating it at home, please snap a picture, post it on our Facebook page, and use the hashtag that we've got in there too. And just so we can let the community know that we're doing this, and also ask them to join us in supporting these local restaurants. So this week it's going to be Over the Falls. Next week it's going to be Buku. I think Mike is getting a menu from them. We're asking them for any specials. We are contacting the owners and saying we're doing this. They're very appreciative of that. They all offer curbside, so you don't even have to go inside. Some of them you may have to, but I know with Over the Falls, they've got 3 lanes of pickup outside. So please try to frequent them. Tell them you're a Wakefield Rotary when you call and when you pick it up. And we've got the list of the other restaurants located there. The other thing we're doing, because we don't want to forget 2 very important restaurants, Heritage, and then also the Lemon Tree, which has catered for us several times. What we're doing with them is actually giving them cash to create some meals for WakeMed healthcare professionals. I'm waiting. I heard back from WakeMed, but now I'm waiting for them to give me the details on when they want it. Stacy with the Lemon Tree is actually doubling our order. So we're going to give each restaurant $250 for a total of $500. Instead of just giving us like 25 meals, Stacy wants to double that.
Nice.
So we're going to have about 75 meals that we're going to be giving to different shifts at the hospital. I've requested WakeMed North because I feel like they're a little bit closer, but also the big WakeMed, we may be going there. So I am going to be needing a few folks to help with that. And we may even do a night shift. So Stacy said that she would have food maybe for us to pick up at, 9, 10 o'clock at night, and we would take it over to their 11 o'clock p.m. night shift folks. So I'm coordinating that again with WakeMed, and I will put some information out in the beautiful newsletter that Donna is doing, and we may even email that out. But I'll also put it on this website. You can go to wakefieldnc.com/helpout. And that's where we will have everything of the restaurant that you can help out with, and then also details about volunteers we need to take to WakeMed. And it'll be safe. We'll be wearing masks, and we won't be going into the patient area, probably just the main lobby with the food. So thank you, everyone, for participating.
Awesome. Thanks so much. Let me know, obviously, Angela, and I'll probably be able to help somehow. Also, we've got... Mark, you'll appreciate this. I don't know if I'm on the... I've still got I found in my duck splash stuff I was cleaning out $100 worth of Mellow Mushroom gift card. So we'll give that... Well, it was never given out, and we are waiting until this year, and they're expiring in June or something. So we'll give those to some healthcare workers too.
Great.
Just to hopefully get the use out of those. All right. Well, now I'm going to just hand it over to Anne Welton from the Wake Forest Chamber of Commerce. Anne's been there a couple years now and as president, and she's going to talk. Anne, you've got probably 15-20 minutes. You can share your screen if you have any PowerPoint, or just speak, whatever you'd like to do. But I'll hand it over to you to hear from what you guys are doing from the Chamber's perspective with supporting local businesses in this tough time. So with that, I'll hand it over to Anne.
Thank you so much for having me this morning. And it's really great to see so many faces of people that I know. And thanks again for all the good work that the Rotary does. It's just great to be partnered with you all here in Wake Forest. It's interesting. I've been here at the Chamber now a little bit more than 4 years, and one of the first speaking engagements I did when I first joined the Chamber was at the Wakefield Rotary, and I did not know what in the world I was talking about. So that was interesting to look back on it 4 years later and go, okay, well, now I know what we do. So I'll give you just a tiny bit of background about our Chamber, and then we'll talk about what we're trying to do in today's current climate. Before I joined the Chamber 4+ years ago, my predecessor was the economic developer for the town of Wake Forest, as well as president of the chamber. So the town of Wake Forest actually paid her salary, and the main function of the chamber was economic development. When she decided to take a position in Virginia, and all goodness, she just had a different opportunity, that's when the town of Wake Forest itself decided to bring economic development within the town and created their own department. The only reason that that's important is that it really allowed me, when I came in, to change the real focus of what the chamber does. So for the last 4 years, we have not been trying to lure the next big, tech company to Wake Forest. We haven't, that has not been our focus. Our focus has been taking care of and really trying to help the members that we have here already in business. And so it really has been a culture shift. Instead of just trying to sell the town as a great place to work, we take our members and really try to help them grow and thrive. Why that is important is when you get right down to it, our mission statement, I boiled it down with the team to, it's super simple. We represent business, we serve our community, and we enhance the quality of life here in Wake Forest. So I truly believe that without a strong business community, the rest of the community can't thrive. And I think that's pretty obvious. I just got a note saying my speaker's not working. Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, it's, let's see.
Not good?
It's okay. We can hear you, but it's
Okay.
a little bit choppy. But
Sorry, I don't know what that is all about. Anyway, I really am a strong believer that with a strong business community, that means we're employing people. That means there's money in people's pockets to go spend at other employers. There's time and talent and finances to donate to charity, to be a part of organizations like the Rotary. But it all starts with a strong business community. We have been so fortunate, of course, here in Wake Forest to have unprecedented growth, not only in population, but in just this really strong economy, and everything's been going so well for so long. I think that's part of the reason this pandemic has been such a shock, is we didn't see it coming. So anyway, for 4 years, we've been working really hard with our member businesses to help them be as strong and as successful as possible. We do that through a wide variety of activities, and most of you all have been to them or been a part of them. Everything from creating opportunities for people to make connections and network, to education, to really just connecting with each other so that we can do business with each other. We did a big campaign for 2 years on Think Chamber, really encouraging people to support chamber businesses, because those are the businesses that are supporting the community and are not just in it for themselves. So we've really tried hard to build a culture of helping each other. So I think that probably jives with everything that you all doing as well. Within the chamber, we've had several committees. Our government affairs committee has been really interested in what's going on. For the last couple of years, we've spent every monthly meeting bringing in guest speakers to help us keep our finger on the pulse of what's happening, whether it's in transportation or education or economic development. We've had speakers from the county, from the state. One of our best speakers actually was Beth Wood, the NC state auditor. So we haven't been a lobbying organization, which is really what the Raleigh Chamber does, but we've really tried to educate ourselves on what's going on to make sure we do know what's happening and what may affect the businesses in the Wake Forest area. This is the word of the year, I think, pivot. But even before the pandemic, we decided this year we really wanted to find a cause that we could really sink our teeth into and make a difference, and really, really work hard on. And we landed on the S line, the commuter rail that is been proposed to come from the Virginia border and going all the way through Raleigh down to Sanford. We feel like that could make such a significant economic impact to the town. Imagine if you could just literally get on the train, the commuter train. This is not high-speed rail, but here in downtown, there would also be a stop at the corner of South Main and 98 bypass is what they're talking about. But it's very close to actually being a reality if we can get some funding from the federal government. So our Government Affairs Committee decided that that would be something we'd really focus on and really see if we could drum up grassroots support for all the financial pieces that need to happen. You know, it's certainly not inexpensive. But that was all in February and everything's changed in March. So I'm not sure where that stands right now. Nothing seems to be a priority except for, you know, reopening our company, our country for business. But we are focusing on that when things get a little bit back to normal. Louis certainly knows because he was one of the ones from the beginning, but we did establish a 501c3 foundation a number of years ago, and it sort of sat there for a couple of years waiting for some real focused attention. Corey Hutcherson, who's on our staff, several years ago decided that he really had the interest in the time, and we've really made some significant strides in getting that up and running and off the ground. You may have known about a year and a half ago, we got a $95,000 grant from the U.S. Chamber of Commerce to establish a career readiness lab. We were one of 5 chambers across the country who were selected to win this grant, which we were so proud of. 70 chambers applied, only 5 were awarded this money. But it gave us the opportunity to put together what we thought a year ago was a great curriculum for high school students to get them more prepared for being good employees in the future. I'm sure you've all experienced it, and we certainly have seen it, that a lot of them are lacking what they're calling soft skills to really be effective employees. So anyway, we implemented that. We created a whole year's worth of curriculum starting in last August and doing monthly sessions with all these students and providing them with internship opportunities in businesses across Wake Forest and North Raleigh. It's been a learning experience, and we've learned what works and what we will fix for the future, but that was part of the whole program. Was of the 5 chambers that were participating in this, we all had slightly different programs, and the idea being that we will report back to the U.S. Chamber about what works and what didn't work, etc. Of course, unfortunately, in March, when everything stopped, the Career Readiness Academy also ground to a halt. We've been doing as much as we can virtually, but the actual internships and the face-to-face sessions with the students, of course, we haven't been able to do. So that's been a bit of a disappointment, but we still, you know, over the first 6 months of the program really learned a lot, and are shifting direction slightly for next year, and we're focusing on the North Wake College and Career Academy. You all may know that's in the former grocery store Winn-Dixie over behind Target off of 98. We're focusing the academy on those students because they're already on a career track. And so we're going to serve fewer students, but in a more precise manner, and see if we can really polish the entire curriculum, and then we're going to expand it back out again. Meanwhile, in the foundation, we are bringing back our youth leadership program that many of you all are aware of. We do an adult leadership program and a youth leadership program. So next year we'll be doing the career readiness program as well as youth leadership. So 2 year-long programs for high school students. We've also established financial literacy fairs and reality fairs that we do in the middle schools and the high schools, and they have been fantastic. It's really, we've discovered an enormous need there, and the students really do, they get it and they understand it, and their eyes are opened when they discover how much it costs to actually live in this world. So we'll continue those. I have a personal interest in entrepreneurship. We've had a young entrepreneurs fair as part of Meet in the Street for the last 4 years, and I've been teaching those students who are age 9 to 14. We have a couple of workshops that we do with that on pricing and business planning, as well as marketing and sales. And it's just so much fun. So I'm hoping that we can get that back on track, depending on what happens with Meet in the Street, which has clearly been postponed for this year. But there's been a lot going on in the foundation. Shane and Walt certainly know that I poached one of the wise star employees. Liz Simpers joined us in February as our Director of Development for the foundation, and she's been working really closely with Corey to get we've applied for lots and lots of grants, and we're working very hard on corporate support for all the foundation programming. So that's another side of the chamber, but we really feel like developing the leaders of the future, we've got to start with youth programming, and that's what we're doing in our foundation. As well, our foundation also launched a small business relief fund as a result of the current situation. We've been trying to raise money to help really some of those small businesses that are behind the scenes. There's been so much attention, and I appreciate so much what you all are doing, Angela, with your help out with takeout, and we're all trying hard to support those restaurants. But there's so many small businesses that people just don't even think about, that there's no way to buy anything from them. They don't have takeout services. You don't even think about them because you don't see them. They may be out of someone's home, or they're in a small strip mall, or I keep coming back to Wake Forest Awards. They do, trophies and name tags and that sort of thing, but their top revenue source is providing custom materials for conventions and conferences, and every single one of those has been canceled, and so 80% of their revenue for the rest of the year is just gone away. And it's businesses like those that we've been so concerned about, because you can't just say, let me buy a gift card, or and you can't just run in and get a lunch there to help support them. So our small business relief fund was developed in the hopes that we could provide some grants to help some of these small businesses stay in business. I saw some right before you all got started this morning. Oh, there's the train. I was reading an email from the U.S. Chamber that 54% of small businesses have closed already, either temporarily or permanently. And then within 2 months, they fully expect a quarter of the businesses in the United States to be closed permanently, the small businesses. They just can't, they don't have the capitalization to survive. So we're doing everything that we can currently to help all of our members either access the government programs through the Small Business Administration or the CARES Act, making sure that they're aware of everything that they may qualify for and they know how to access it, as well as just creating an awareness for them all within the community so that we can all help support them no matter what kind of business that they're in. So that's what we've really been working on. Our ability to make connections in person, of course, has completely gone away. So we've done what everybody else has done, as we're doing this morning, and switched everything to webinars and virtual meetings. We've done a lot of education, again, hosting webinars with the Small Business Administration, and we're also looking for a variety of topics. Yesterday we had Pam Perkins from Perkins Counseling talking about how to deal with stress and anxiety in this time. We've had lots of technical webinars on, how to work from home and what kind of technology you need and how to make the best out of this, that, and the other. We had a homeschool expert talking about tricks and tips for effective homeschooling. I mean, so we're not just focusing on the business aspect, we're recognizing that our members need support across the board, and we're constantly adding those kinds of opportunities for them to live through this like the rest of us do. So that's what we're doing. We are just about to launch for the rest of April and into May. We've decided that, the hair on fire crisis has settled down just a little bit, and we're going to go back to everything that was regularly scheduled that we can possibly do virtually, to plan it virtually. So that means a virtual business after hours, our Women's Business Alliance meetings, our young professional meetings, our morning coffees, and just trying to get some normalcy onto the calendar again. Just some regularly scheduled meetings. I think that will feel good to everyone. As you all know, I'm sure that you look forward to your Thursday morning meetings. It just makes you feel a little bit more normal when things are on the calendar that have always been there. In terms of our big events, obviously Meet in the Street has always been the first Saturday in May. That was going to be Saturday, May 2nd. That's certainly not going to happen. We had a family expo scheduled for late March. That's been postponed till August. We're really hoping that we're just postponing these, that we're not canceling them. But as you all know, just as with the duck splash and everything else, it's just still up in the air in terms of what we're really going to be able to do. And we already had a fall calendar that was jam-packed with big events and regularly scheduled programming. So I'm just not sure we're going to be able to just take everything we were going to do in the spring and create it again in the fall. There's just only so many hours in the day. So like you all, or many of you, I shouldn't say all of you because I don't know, we are a small business. I mean, that we are a 501c6 nonprofit, but we're still a business, and we depend on our members staying with us and paying their dues because we need that revenue. Meet in the Street was quite honestly our biggest fundraiser of the year. So to not have that is difficult in terms of operation expenses that it funded. So I'm as concerned as many other small business owners or managers. Obviously, I don't own the chamber, but I do need to manage the operations here. And so how we can keep the revenue coming in and keep the doors open so that we can continue to provide all the services that we're trying to provide. So it's a really interesting time to be here. You know, I'm trying to help, not me individually, but the chamber, all of our members, which, you know, the federal government's definition of small business is anyone with 500 or fewer employees, which is just about everybody that's a member of our chamber. And so making sure that we're doing everything we can possibly do for them, but at the same time worrying about keeping my employees employed and our doors open and, you know, just taking care of the organization itself. So it has been challenging. Most of our employees work from home. I personally come into the chamber office, and a couple other of us do. We stay away from each other, but we lock the door. Obviously, nothing's open for the public, but we just found that we're a little bit more effective if we can come into this building. But we're learning how to work as a team when we don't ever see each other anymore, which is another challenge. So it's really been interesting. I was looking at the calendar, and our last board meeting was Thursday, March the 12th. And I'll never forget that because we had a board meeting, and I said to the board at that time, I need you all to decide and give me direction on should we move forward with some of these events. And coming up very quickly after that was our family expo. And the board voted and decided, yes, we should go forward. We should have the expo. Everybody will be fine. No need to cancel it. So it's like, okay, we're going forward. And it was at noon on that day that Major League Baseball decided to cancel its season, and they shut down Broadway and all of that. And we're like, whoa, if we can't have a little family expo here in Wake Forest. So it happened that quickly. In 3 hours, we had to completely turn around and go from, oh, everything's going to be fine to, no, it's not. So just like you, we're doing everything that we can. We're staying very positive. I love the way you all started your meeting. We start all of our staff meetings the same way. Everybody shares good news. We're working on supporting ourselves as well as our businesses. So that's kind of what we're going through right now.
Well, we appreciate you coming to our virtual meeting this morning and all the support and everything you guys do for the town. You certainly do make a difference, and hopefully we can get back to some kind of normalcy here in the next weeks or month. I know everybody's itching to get back to a normal schedule and out in the community and back to work. So we do appreciate all of your and the Chamber's support for what you do. So thank you, and thank you for being here this morning.
No, I appreciate the invitation. It's great to see you all, and trust that we'll all, be giving each other handshakes and hugs very soon.
Yeah, hopefully. And you're always welcome to our Thursday morning meetings. So when we get back to normal, maybe you can come again. All right, I'm going to just finish up the meeting. If Mark wants to put up the four-way test, and we'll finish up. Is Mark around?
Any chance for a quick question to Anne?
Yes, absolutely, Brian.
Okay. Hey, Anne, I'm encouraged by the fact that obviously you take an active role in helping small businesses in Wake Forest with the PPP program. I'm just curious, do you find that they understand that the money is out there, and are you walking some of the businesses through this process? How are you doing? And have you found that, I know I've talked to a couple of small business owners in Wake Forest that have already received money. Are you finding that they understand that the money's out there and it may run out, and it's critical that they get their applications in quickly?
Yes, great questions. Our most highly attended webinars have been around the PPP, the EIDL loans, all of that information. So yes, and I've been right when, I guess it was probably 2 to 2.5 weeks ago when everything, remember that Friday, I guess it was April 3rd was the first day the PPP application was available. Tons of questions back and forth. So, and we've really been trying to connect people with our SBA approved banks and getting them to the right people and the right places to make it happen. So I think people are taking advantage of it and have never paid more attention to the specifics, because everybody realizes that it's not an unlimited pot of money and you got to get in line quickly. So the answer is yes, people are doing everything they can to take advantage of it.
What do you hear about people receiving money? As I said, I've heard from a couple of people in Wake Forest that they have received PPP money, and I've applied myself, haven't heard anything back. What do you hear? Any good news?
Not across the board, not that it's bad news, but I just think because it's so clogged I do know from talking to our bankers that are SBA approved lenders, they've been working 15 hours a day just trying to get through the backlog, because even though it's an SBA approved or backed loan, they still have to go through their local lending institution to get it. So I just think that it's out there and everyone's working as hard as they can to make it happen. But I'm not hearing of a ton of people going, oh, this is great, it's finally landed in my bank account. And same with the EIDL loan. If you all are familiar, that comes directly from the SBA. And with that, you can get a $10,000 emergency cash grant. And those have been very slow getting through the bureaucracy in the process. So I think it's all working. It's just slower than people were hoping for.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Sure.
Yeah.
Jerry, I have a couple quick questions if I could.
Go ahead, Rick.
And I wanted to participate in the financial literacy program, and I know that's not exactly what you called it this year. I learned about it last year from Steve Arrington at the Farm Bureau. Can we, as the Rotary Club, get placed somehow to ensure that we get notice on that? Because as a former banker, I would love to participate in that event next year.
We would love to have you, because we are trying to expand that program to as many schools as we can, and we run out of volunteers. So that offer is noted, and I will make sure that Corey with the foundation gets it in your hands as soon as it's scheduled. That would be fantastic.
Okay, two other questions related to the PPP program. One, I presume is a nonprofit organization. You have probably applied for some of the funding out of that program. I think it's available to organizations like yours. And then secondly, because I am still working a little bit remotely for a bank in Maryland, is doing the Triple P program. Most of the banks, at least in that area, seem to be concentrating on their lending customers. But there are people who have small businesses who are not borrowers, but still need help. And unfortunately, they tend to fall to a second or third tier in terms of priorities, because the banks are trying to take care of their customers, their borrowing customers, due to the sheer volume. Have you seen that here? And are there any local institutions that are trying to help out non-customers?
You're exactly right. I mean, I think it comes down to the relationships that we build through business. You know, it's the same. Yes, the banks are taking care of their current customers first. There's no question. So that is happening. And then the other, if you were not a borrowing customer, you are having to get in line. Carter Harrell at Wake Forest Federal actually recommended there's an online only bank in North Carolina that's the best SBA lending bank, and they do everything just online. It's Live Oak, Four Oak, something like that.
Live Oak.
Yeah, Live Oak.
In Wilmington, yeah.
Yep, and he said they are doing a really great job taking care of people that are not current customers, and so he recommended small businesses, go that route. Unfortunately, Congress did not approve 501c6 nonprofits for the PPP program. We are eligible to apply for the EIDL, the disaster loan, but we're not eligible to apply for the Paycheck Protection Program. So I have not gone through that because we're not eligible.
Okay, I didn't realize there was that nuance.
Yeah, 501c3s are eligible, but C6s are not. Don't ask me why, but.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Hey, Anne, this is Mark Kelly. I just had one other question. So you mentioned about the the financial literacy for the kids. Have you guys looked into doing anything now, something even virtually for some of the businesses, their employees, in terms of financial education? Because we just, while we're talking here, 5.2 million people the unemployment report came out, and now we're at 22 million people that have lost their jobs. So I'm just wondering if that's something you guys have looked at. And
no, but I just made a note. That's a brilliant idea. Giving some guidance. Yeah, well, let's talk about that. Not in the middle of your Rotary meeting, but let's talk about it. What would be the most helpful? What resources could we help? I know just from seeing things on social media, getting through to the North Carolina unemployment office and filing for unemployment is virtually impossible because it's been such a groundswell. But and I don't really know how to help people with that. But besides filing for unemployment, what other kind of resources would people need, and what could we provide? I'd love to offer that.
Okay. Yeah, I'm just saying because I'm a Dave Ramsey master coach, so obviously I know the impact that's having on people. So just even things on like budgeting, trying to help pass the time until we go back to normal businesses.
No, I think that's wonderful. And in fact, while I'm asking, any other ideas that anyone on this meeting might have for what might be helpful to either a business owner or an employee? As I said, we're trying to remain relevant and helpful for all of our members. So if you have any other ideas, please share them with me. And Mark, can we, visit this afternoon or something and we talk about what that might look like?
Sure, that'd be great.
Thank you.
All right. Well, thanks again, Anne, for coming and come back when we hopefully have our normal meetings in person. But we'll end with our Rotary four-way test of the things we think, say, or do. First, is it the truth? Second, is it fair to all concerned? 3, will build goodwill and better friendships. And 4th, will be beneficial to all concerned. Thank you again, everybody, and thanks for sticking with us during these virtual meetings. Hopefully we'll see some of you, probably half of you, tomorrow morning in our membership committee meeting and next week. Y'all have a good and safe week. Thank you. All right, we are adjourned. Everybody take care. We'll see you soon.